In the peaceful village of Oluwa, nestled along the coast where the sun kissed the ocean each morning, lived a woman named Kemi. She was kind, gentle, and loved by everyone in the village. One day, Kemi found out she was going to have twins. The whole village celebrated, for twins were considered a great blessing. As the months passed, Kemi felt something strange within her. Whenever she touched her belly, she could feel two very different energies. One was warm and comforting, while the other felt cold and dark. She kept this to herself, not wanting to worry everyone, but deep down she was afraid. Finally, the day came when Kemi gave birth. The villagers gathered outside her hut, waiting for the joyful cries of the newborns. The first baby, a boy, was born with soft cry. Kemi named him Kemi after herself, as she saw in him a reflection of her own kind heart. The second baby, another boy, was born moments later, but when he cried, the wind seemed to howl along him. Kemi looked into his eyes and felt a chill. She named him Kalu. From that day on, the village of Oluwa was never the same. Kemi grew up surrounded by love and laughter. He was always smiling, helping others and bringing joy wherever he went. The villagers loved him, often calling him the sun that shines in our hearts. But Kalu was different. As he grew, so did the darkness within him. He rarely smiled, and when he did, it was cold, cruel smile that made the villagers uneasy. Animals avoided him, plants withered where he walked, and a storm seemed to follow him. The villagers began to fear him, whispering about the strange energy that surrounded him. Kemi and Kalu were as different as night and day. While Kemi's touch healed and brought happiness, Kalu's presence brought fear and despair. Kemi tried to reach out to his brother, but Kalu pushed him away. He didn't want his brother's kindness. He wanted power. He began to explore dark side of his abilities, using them to control others and spread fear. One day, a terrible storm struck Oluwa. The winds howled and the sea roared with fury. The villagers huddled in their huts, praying for safety. But Kalu was not afraid. He stood on the cliff overlooking the ocean, his eyes glowing with the dark energy. The storm obeyed his command, growing stronger as he willed it. Kemi ran to his brother, desperate to stop him. "Kalu, please, you must stop this," he cried. But Kalu only laughed. "You are weak, Kemi." Kalu sneered. "You don't understand the power I have. I can control the storm, the sea, and soon I will control the whole village." Kemi's heart ached for his brother. He knew that the darkness in Kalu's heart was growing stronger, and he feared that soon it would consume him entirely. As the storm raged on, Kemi knew he had to do something. He couldn't let his brother destroy everything they had known. He had heard the stories from the village elders about a place called the Caves of Wisdom, deep within the mountains. It was said that these caves held ancient secrets and the power to cleanse even the darkest of souls. Kemi decided to go on a journey to the Caves of Wisdom. He believed that if he could find the secret of curing his brother's dark heart, he could save Kalu and bring peace back to their village. But the journey would not be easy. The path to the caves was dangerous, filled with wild animals, treacherous terrain, and who knew what other dangers. Kemi packed some food, water, and a small talisman his mother had given him for protection. He knew he had to hurry before Kalu's darkness consumed the entire village. As he left, the villagers watched with worry, but no one dared to stop him. They knew that Kemi was their only hope. The journey was long and difficult. Kemi faced many challenges along the way. He had to cross rivers, climb steep cliffs, and navigate through dense forests. At night, he camped under the stars, praying for guidance. Each day he felt the weight of his mission growing heavier, but he never gave up. Finally, after many days of travel, Kemi reached the entrance of the Caves of Wisdom. The caves were dark and foreboding, but Kemi felt a strange sense of peace. He knew he was in the right place. As he stepped inside, the air grew colder, and he could hear the faint whispers of ancient spirits. The caves were filled with glowing crystals, and as Kemi walked deeper inside, he felt a presence guiding him. He followed the light of the crystals until he reached a large chamber. In the center of the chamber was a stone pedestal, and on it lay an ancient scroll. Kemi approached the pedestal and picked up the scroll. As he unrolled it, he saw that it was written in a language he didn't understand. But as he stared at the words, they began to glow, and suddenly he could read them. The scroll told the story of two brothers, one born with the spirit of light and the other with the spirit of darkness. The only way to cleanse the dark spirit was through an act of pure love and sacrifice. Kemi's heart sank as he realized what he had to do. He knew that to save Kalu, he would have to comfort him and offer himself as a sacrifice. Only through this ultimate act of love could the darkness in Kalu's heart be cleansed. Kemi's mind raced as he considered the consequences, but deep down he knew there was no other way. With a heavy heart, Kemi left the Caves of Wisdom and began journey back to his village. He knew that the final battle with Kalu was approaching, and he had to be ready. When Kemi returned to Oluwa, the village was in chaos. The storm Kalu had summoned had grown even more powerful, and the villagers were terrified. Kalu stood in the center of the village, his eyes glowing with dark energy, commanding the storm with a wave of his hand. Kemi approached his brother, his heart pounding in his chest. "Kalu, stop this, I beg you." He appealed, but Kalu only laughed. "You are too late, Kemi," Kalu sneered. "I have the power now, and I will rule this village." Kemi knew there was no reasoning with Kalu. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, holding out his hands. "Then take my power, Kalu. Take everything I have, and let the darkness in your heart be cleansed." Kalu hesitated for a moment, surprised by his brother's words. "What are you doing, Kemi? Why would you offer yourself to me?" "Because I love you, Kalu," Kemi said softly. "You are my brother, and I would do anything to save you." For a moment, Kalu's dark energy faltered, and the storm around them began to calm. Kemi could see the conflict in his brother's eyes. He knew that deep down, Kalu was still the brother he loved. But the darkness in Kalu's heart was strong, and it fought against the light. Kalu cried out in pain as the two forces clashed within him. Kemi knew he had to act quickly. He stepped forward and embraced Kalu, holding him tightly. "Let the darkness go, Kalu. Let it go and come back to us," Kemi whispered. As Kemi held his brother, he felt the darkness within Kalu begin to melt away. The storm calmed and the dark energy that had consumed Kalu slowly faded. Kalu collapsed in Kemi's arms, exhausted and weakened. The villagers watched in awe as the storm disappeared, and the sun broke through the clouds. Kalu's eyes, once filled with darkness, were now clear and bright. He looked up at the Kemi, tears in his eyes. "Kemi, I'm sorry," Kalu whispered. Kemi smiled and hugged his brother tightly. "It's over now, Kalu, we are free." The villagers cheered and gathered around the brothers, relieved that the darkness had been lifted. The curse that had plagued their village was finally gone, and peace was restored. Kemi and Kalu returned home, their bond stronger than ever. Kalu, once feared by the villagers, was now accepted and loved. He spent his days helping others, using his power for good, just as Kemi did. As the years passed, the story of two brothers was told and retold in the village of Oluwa. It became a tale of love, sacrifice, and the power of light over darkness. In the end, Kemi and Kalu taught the villagers an important lesson, that love and compassion can conquer even the darkest of hearts. And so the village of Oluwa lived in peace, knowing that as long as they held love in their hearts, no darkness could ever truly take over. The moral lesson of story is the power lies not in strength or fear, but in love and sacrifice. No matter how dark things may seem, the light of love can always find a way to shine through. It's Kaya, glad to have shared this story with you. If you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and leave your feedback. Sweet dreams, and see you next time.